the staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Mustache is falling off. It's got to go. Ski's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising.
Wow. They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. All right, Carver High on Saturday. By the way, Justin Turner just went to the Mariners in a deal, and he was literally hitting for the Jays in the game 1 against the Orioles at Camden, and then they traded his ass. He's headed to the showers and to the airport, and then he'll hook up with the Mariners for the stretch run. They're a playoff team at this point. So Saturday, I went to the Don LaGreca from ESPN Radio in New York. For years, he's held this charity softball celebrity event for this guy, Mark Sasso, who was a legendary guy from New Jersey that was a realtor and all the rest. He coached all kinds of little league teams and everything else. Great guy, allegedly. And he had passed, and they raised all this money for him. And I was in it before, like several years ago, like the first, second year of the thing. I was the pitcher, right? First pitch of the game. I go out there, and they're like, Ferrall, you pitch. So I go out, I throw the first pitch, and a guy hits a screamer, and it shattered my ankle. The first pitch of the game, the guy broke my ankle. I'm laying on the field. At 34C's calling me a P. Get up, you P. That's what she yelled from the stands. Meanwhile, I got a shattered ankle. I go to the hospital and get a cast on my leg. And then I went to the bar and drank it off. So Saturday, I made my triumphant return. 15 years later, I didn't want to, but I did. I went back, same field, same place. I'm like, oh, bad luck field. What time's the game start? So I go, and it's got all these celebrities there. Bart Scott, let's see who else. Danica, Marty Lyons, Greg Buttle, all kinds of personalities from ESPN Radio, blah, blah, blah. And I played left field. I wanted no part of that infield. So they put me out in left, Carver High. About the 4th inning, guy ropes a screamer to left, 100 miles an hour. I come running in like Andy Van Slyke, and I dove, and I caught the ball. I rolled like 5 times, and they all cheered and went crazy. I proceeded to have 3 at-bats. First bat. In the second inning, I popped out. Drag, you suck. Boo, people booing. Second at bat, runners on second and third. I lace a gap shot, double to the wall, 2-run score. My third at bat, they shifted because of the double. They all went to the left side, and I scraped another one to the right cap. 2 more runs score, 4 RBIs, and an Andy Van Slyke catch. And then I woke up Sunday with a sore arm and sore ribs, sore back. I played softball on Saturday, Carver High. Big mistake. The injuries. I may have to get a rotator cuff surgery. But I did play.
They're piling up for you.
Celebrity Classic, and then we went out and got torn up afterwards. Had to have somebody help me home. It wasn't good.
Always the best part after that, that's for sure. Let me quickly go through all this other stuff from yesterday with baseball. Cleveland beat the Phillies 4-3. Good weekend of the Guardians. Stephen Kwan, who's had an excellent year, the go-ahead homer on Valley Sports Great Lakes.
The 1-0 pitch, Stephen Kwan sends one deep to right, down the line, gone, and the Guardians take the lead. A laser to right by Stephen Kwan. His career-high 11th home run as he flies around the bases.
There you have it. That guy's had a great year for them, and they're starting to find their way again. They had been slumping for the last couple of weeks. That's a big win for them. I bet against them tonight.
It certainly was, that's for sure. The Phillies also put Ranger Danger Suarez on the IL. He's had back issues for weeks. They finally decided to just sit him down and hope that it gets better. Orioles beat the Padres 8-6 yesterday. They played some crazy games over the weekend. Jays beat the Rangers. The Mets and the Braves, Scotty. Of course, the Mets had a big start to that 4-game series with wins on Thursday and Friday, but the Braves get them both back Saturday and Sunday, hitting a bunch of home runs both days, including this one yesterday by Matt Olson, 3-run shot on Valley Sports South.
Matt Olson waiting at 0-1. He hits this deep to right field. Second deck, 3-run bomb, Matt Olson. That was the no-doubter of no-doubters, 426 feet.
Yeah, and then not only that, when it rains, it pours. What happened to one of their pitchers?
Yeah, bad news for Senga, who, of course, made his first start of the season on Friday night. A calf strain, and Carlos Mendoza said he's most likely going to miss the rest of the regular season.
How is that possible?
I don't know. I mean, look, I know that these calf strains are some guys it's a couple weeks. Some guys it's, I guess, you figure. I guess he's what the thinking is, Scotty, is that he probably can't pitch. He's not going to be able to really throw or do any of his stuff because he can't plant the calf for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you got to ramp him back up, in terms of his arm. So I guess that's why they feel October would be the place if the Mets are there, which of course they are trying to get themselves there. They've done a great job of the last month. Did you see this earlier? 27-13 since June the 12th. The Mets. They have gone from 150-1 to 40-1 to win the whole thing with how hot that they have gotten, despite losing these last two to the Braves Saturday and Sunday.
Well, am I crazy, or did we not have this conversation when they were 30-1? Did I not have that conversation with you? And I said that's a great number to bet on the Mets right now. And now, with that number at 40-1, if that's even what happened, I think it is. All I know is 40-1. That's a great bet. You know why? Because they got a great lineup that hits, not only for average but for power. And they got pitching, and they got defense with Lindor and company. And I think the left side of that infield with Iglesias and Lindor, it's hard to get a ball past either one of those guys. I got to tell you, I think they're a team that, you talk about Arizona and Texas, these are not world beaters, and they went to the World Series. All you have to do is get in. I think the Mets are a team you don't want to play. I'm not saying they're winning at all, but the fact that they've already crowned the Phillies and Dodgers for the pennant is absurd to me. We've seen the Dodgers bite it the last few years, so I don't believe anything until I see it.
That's it. And we'll see if they add another arm. Of course, they could probably use one now with Senga being done. We'll see if they get someone between now and tomorrow with the trade deadline. Twins beat the Tigers. Cubs beat the Royals. Dodgers beat the Astros. How about the Cards and the Nats? Let me give you, we love walk-off home runs on Coast to Coast. How about tied at 3, bottom of the 9th for Paul Goldschmidt on Valley Sports Midwest?
Blue skies overhead. Swing, high fly ball. Bouncing left. One back. Track wall. It's a walk-off winner.
Chip, you know that this one felt great for Paul Goldschmidt. Your butt Budweiser play of the game, the walk-off home run, his 8th of his career, and a much-needed swing of the bat and victory for the St. Louis Cardinals.
You know, it's about time this guy did something. I mean, honestly, I think he's having a horrible year. And I'll tell you another thing, going back to the Mets, you know who I would go get right now if I were them? I've heard all this Basset Hound I can take. They should go get Flaherty from the Tigers.
They should go and do that. By the way, Flaherty was supposed to pitch tonight for Detroit. He's not going to be pitching for Detroit tonight.
I bet on him.
Well, they pulled him just because I guess they're close to a deal. No deal's been announced yet, but they are not going to pitch him tonight against Cleveland. So scratch Flaherty from your plans for that one.
That's
I'll let you know in a little bit.
News.
I'll let you know in a little bit who'll be replacing him and what the number.
Guardians, that was a great bat.
Yeah, well, I'll let you know how the numbers have changed and who will be starting for them later on as we get through. Giants beat the Rockies 5-4. They swept all 4 games. They beat them in a doubleheader on Saturday as well. Blake Snell had a career-high 15 Ks in one of those games on Saturday night. His name has been rumored about as well here over the last several hours.
If I were the Mets, the way he looked the other night, he looked absolutely scintillating and unhittable with those 15 strikeouts. The Giants haven't had that since Lincecum.
I'll play one more highlight from yesterday for you when we come back. A cruise missile out in the Arizona desert yesterday. We'll do that when we come back.
What do we have here? A Houdini?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the turn. Who's the king of violence?
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
So the U.S. women up 22 at the end of the third here, 12 seconds left in the third, and Plum at the line to make it 23. So it's around that number of 23 and a hook, and the original number was 21 and a hook. So we'll keep our eyes on it in the fourth. They'll probably finish him off like Carver High said. So what do you got for me in terms of that bucko? At least they got one game in the desert.
They did get one game in the desert. It was a crazy one yesterday. Ends up being 6-5 in extra innings. I will give you, though, a highlight from earlier in the game for the Buccos, because we always love when we get a Cruz missile, O'Neal Cruz on Sportsnet Pit.
Doesn't throw hard. 89, 90.
High and deep down the right field line, and Cruz has homered off the lefty. A towering home run for Cruz, number 17, and the Bucs are on the board.
Boy, was that beautiful.
408 feet.
Wow. I thought it was a lot bigger than that,
Yeah.
home run. I
think they need to, all their computers and their charts and graphs and their home run measuring. I thought there was a couple this weekend, because you know that's really all I care about is the home run. So I'm always looking at those. The Cruz one was a lot longer than they said. And I don't care what anyone says. That ball that Judge hit to straightaway center in Fenway Park the other night, they called that 475. No way. That was 500 feet, that ball that he hit. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The one that he hit over in dead center field, like underneath the sign, and it flew out, not over the monster, straight out. That had to be 500 feet. Forget the 475 nonsense. I'm adding.
And how about the one he hit out just landed 10 minutes ago? The one he hit the left.
I mean, it was that was an absolute bomb that he hit the other night. He had a couple long ones.
Now you know why the Mets won't pitch to him. The Red Sox aren't afraid to him, but
Mets had it right. Mets had it right. Just basically walking him the entire night, and it ended up working out for them. All right, trade deadline is tomorrow, 6 p.m. East. So you got just a little bit over 24 hours to go for this stuff. You mentioned before Justin Turner got pulled out of this Toronto game. He's going to Seattle. That just happened. Three-way trade between the Cardinals, Dodgers, and White Sox, Scotty. Basically the particulars: Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham go to St. Louis. Tommy Edman and Michael Kopech go to the Dodgers. And the White Sox get themselves a whole bunch of prospects that go back in their direction. So as we thought, the White Sox are going to continue to basically strip it down to the studs. Everything must go between now and tomorrow, as they've lost, 14, 15 games in a row now? Wild. Unbelievable for the White Sox.
Yesterday, I bet against Crochet on Sunday, because I've told you on this show, it doesn't matter if Fetty or if Crochet pitch our boy Davy Crockett, because they still don't score. They don't score runs, so they lose every game, even though he's great. Both of them are great pitchers. Not great, but really good pitchers for them. But it doesn't matter, because when they pitch, the White Sox still don't score, and they lose. They lost 6-3. It didn't matter. He lasted not even 3 innings. So they lose every night. So, you want to make money, bet against them.
That would be the way to go. The Pirates made a trade today as they sent Quinn Priester to Boston for infield prospect Nick York. I need a bigger deal than that from the Pirates. We need to see the Pirates in the next 24 to 26 hours. Make some bigger deals.
This is embarrassing. So they claim, Cherington claims that they've made offers for guys and none of them have been accepted, that they went after better players, well-known players. Like, they need bats, and they went after a couple allegedly and didn't get a deal. This deal is not a deal. This is like a waste of everyone's time, because no one's ever heard of either one of them. So some prospect down the road, future, that's not going to help the Pirates, who are trying to get into the wild card scene, and they don't score runs. They don't get a lot of hits. They need a bat. They need 2 bats, and they didn't do it. So right now, with 24 hours and change to go, they failed.
And you could really see it this past weekend, because Rowdy got hurt, and they didn't have Reynolds, who they're hoping they're going to get Reynolds back tonight in Houston, but they didn't have Reynolds this weekend. Rowdy got hurt, and they didn't have him, and it kind of shows you how tough that lineup looks when those guys aren't there. Tigers will not start Flaherty. I mentioned that to you already. We talked about Jazz. The Nats traded the Wink man, Jesse Winker, to the Mets. So another bat there. The Jays traded Danny Jansen to the Red Sox. He was in the lineup last night. against the Yankees. The Rays traded reliever Jason Adams to the Padres. The Padres sent 3 of their 15 best prospects back, so they must know something we don't about Jason Adams. We'll see how that goes. The Rays traded Itzhak Paredes to the Cubs for Christopher Morel and a couple of other prospects. So people thought the Cubs were going to, quote-unquote, sell Scotty, but that's more of a buy move with Paredes, who, of course, has been very good, an all-star in Tampa this year.
I mean, okay, but it's really one side of the pancake to the other. They're the same player.
Right.
Morel swings for the fences. Paredes actually hits home runs. So fair enough, they may have gotten a little bit better bat, but it's the same player. I don't agree with the move. And I'll tell you another one I don't agree with is San Diego's move. They gave up 3 of their top prospects, top 15 guys, all 3 of them top 15 guys in their farm system for this reliever that nobody's ever heard of. Okay, so I'm sorry, like, it's one thing to trade for someone that everybody knows, and you're like, wow, that's a good move. It's another thing to trade for some guy no one's ever heard of. I mean, let's face facts. You haven't heard of that guy. You said before, they must know something we don't, because none of us know who he is.
Big fan in the metric crowd of Jason Adams. The metric people
Whatever.
love
I don't hang out with
Jason
math
Adams.
nerds, okay?
The Rangers trade pitcher Michael Lorenzen to the Royals today. The Mariners traded Ty France. They found a home for him in Cincinnati. The Braves are allegedly told. You mentioned Crochet before, boy. Garrett, don't call me David Crockett. My name's Crochet. The Braves are talking to Chicago about him. And the Yankees, among half dozen teams, talking to the Giants about Blake Snell, but they will not pay any of the money, the Giants say. Won't pay the money.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fight. It was a big night of memorable moments. Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Left hand from Ron Paul. Right hand right back from Mike Perry.
Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man? It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight.
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, so this USA-Japan game now, 89-64. USA with 6.5 minutes to go in France. So it's above the number. They've already covered that number. We'll see if they can hold on and finish it off for everyone that's betting on it. So what do we got? We got our best worst and our best over-unders to throw out before we hit the games tonight?
Yes, we do this to you every Monday here on Coast to Coast. We give you these updated numbers, the best and the worst teams against the money line in Major League Baseball this season. On the best side, Guardians now plus 14.1 units for Cleveland. Brewers, Nationals, Orioles, and Yankees all in that top plus column. As far as the bad side, we know the White Sox, I mean, what a gap. 40.9 units so far this year. The Marlins, the Blue Jays, the Braves actually there now too, Scotty, minus 11 units for them on the worst side.
Yeah, but for some reason, I just don't find betting against them to be a very fun business. Like, you bet against them on Saturday and Sunday, you lost all kinds of money. Tonight, they got a big game. What? Aren't they like playing the Brewers or something? Like, they're not afraid of anybody. I know they've had their problems, but if they get any of those guys like Olsen going and Riley and Murphy, if they get them going, they can beat anybody.
They certainly can beat anybody if they do get it going. As far as the over and the under so far this year, Orioles now 56, 39, and 10 to the over, along with the Tigers, Marlins, Brewers, Yankees, and Mets. The best over teams. On the underside, the Braves, 61 unders for the Braves this year. Astros, Royals, Cubs, Rangers, and Mariners also in that pile.
Yeah, I guess I'm surprised about Seattle, right? Like they got a good record. They're winning. They're in the hunt. They were leading the division forever. How do you win? Obviously win a division and you don't score runs. Just pitching.
Hard to do.
They don't have like lights out pitching. Castillo hasn't been lights out. Gilbert's been good, but lights out. They never give up runs and they don't score runs. Are you kidding me?
Right. Look, overall, their staff, I mean, you look at their starters. I saw this over the weekend. They're either first or second in the American League in like every category. ERA, whip, strikeouts, everything. They don't allow any runs, but the reason, one of the reasons they got Arozarena, another guy, they don't score. They just can't hit. I mean, Raleigh hits a homer every night, our boy Cal Raleigh, but other than him, they just don't have anybody else. And even he's hitting like 220. He just hits a lot of bombs. They don't have anybody hitting for average on that team, and that's their biggest issue. All right, so there you go. Our weekly check at that.
That's why they got Turner and Ferrall Arena.
Yes. Well, yeah. Look at those two ads there: Turner, Ferrall Arena, and maybe somebody else between now and tomorrow to slide into that lineup. All right, let's start tonight's games, and then of course we'll have the lion's share. We'll do the Taters, and then we'll probably finish the rest of them after that. The Blue Jays and the Orioles are playing 2 today in Camden. Right now, 5-0 Orioles in the first game as they're working right here. In the second game, Bowden Francis and Cade Povich will be the starters. Orioles minus 160, Blue Jays plus $135, and a 9.5, the current numbers for this one.
So in that first game, did they start Eflin in the first game?
Yes, Eflin pitched. Right. He's pitching now. He's got a shutout through four.
All right. So I got to be honest with you. I'm not that excited about that Maury Povich in the second game. Yeah. I kind of like the Jays with Francis in the second game, but more so the over. Both of these guys give up 6-7 runs a game. So yes. I expect a lot of runs.
I expect a lot of runs, too. I only didn't, and I'm going to tell you, I like Taters in that game, Scotty. I didn't use any because with this being a doubleheader, you never know who's going to play both, who's going to be in the first one, not in the second one. So I did stay away from a few guys, but I, of course, like Santander and a few others to homer in that one. Yankees, you know what? We'll save Yankees and Phillies. I can't do 25 seconds with the Yankees and the Phillies, who start a big series in Philadelphia tonight. We will do that, Scotty, first after the lion's share, which is going to be a fun 3 days down there in Philly.
I got to tell you, I'm excited for that series. I'm not excited about that Flaherty news. I had Flaherty at plus $102 tonight at home to beat the Guardians. He's there. I think Skubal and Flaherty are the only two that can win and pitch well. And now he's going to get traded and not pitch tonight. They're going with beef and brisket. I'm scared to death of that bet now. It's too late to pull out of it. I already made the bet.
as of July 22nd, we start a new deal with a monster distribution platform called SportsGrid. And we'll be live every day on national radio on Sirius XM channel 159. And we will be live on their national television platform every day from 10 a.m. till noon.
Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. That's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
All right, the Lion's Share brought to you by BetMGM. And how about their Swing for the Fences free-to-play game? It's unbelievable. Play it once a day. It's free, like I said. You can win great prizes, play as the batter, and pick an area of the strike zone, get a single, double, triple, homer, or even a fly out, and you could be Gandhi. 1, free-to-play. 2, anyone that's an account holder with BetMGM, you play Swing for the Fences, you can win great rewards. What kind? Well, how about parlay boost tokens, odds boost tokens, single game parlay boost tokens, bonus spins in eligible casino states, and even bonus bets. All rewards expire in 24 hours. So when you win one, use your boost token or bonus bets or spins, whatever. You got to use it within 24 hours. You're going to love it. BetMGM, Swing for the Fences, and we love taters on the Lion's Share, brought to you by BetMGM.
We do love taters on the Lion's Share, and we are going to get there. I did want to give you this first. Of course, we've been talking about Flaherty not pitching, Jack Flaherty not pitching for the Tigers tonight, Scotty. This just came down from our man Bob Nightingale, of course, who we see a lot here on Coast to Coast with you. This is about a minute ago. The Yankees are in extensive trade talks for Tiger starter Jack Flaherty and plan to trade starter Nestor Cortez if they land Flaherty. So, Scotty, now that is a trade I would make every day and twice on Sunday. Cortez out of the rotation and Flaherty in, especially with the way he's pitched.
I mean, honestly, like, see you later, nasty. Thanks for nothing. Honestly, he gets lit up every time he pitches. All that nasty Nestor stuff is nonsense. I told you the Mets should get Flaherty. The Yankees get him instead. That is a coup. He has pitched great this year for the Tigers, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be dominant in pinstripes or at Yankee Stadium or otherwise. But it is an upgrade, without a doubt, over Cortez.
Not official yet. If that does become official, I will let you know. Bob says extensive talks, almost there. Hopefully they get that across the line, Scotty. That would be very good. Now how about some taters on the Lion's Share, brought to you by BetMGM. And we're coming off one of our best nights on Friday. 4 bell ringers that we had here on the Lion's Share. It was a very good Friday night for us. Let's start with this Yankee-Philly game tonight. And I know we've got Zach Wheeler and Louis Heel on the mound, 2 guys who have been very good this year. But Big total. I think there's homers here. Both guys do give up some solo shots, Scotty. They don't allow the big ones, but they allow a lot of solos. I'm going to start with Harper. Big stage. The big guys are going to come to play. Harper plus 275 against Louis Heel, who's given up most of his homers really in the last 6 weeks, especially to some left-handed bats. Now, look, Soto, he's got good numbers against Wheeler, 3 homers in his career off of him. Judge actually 0 for 5, Scotty, against Wheeler in his career. Really nobody on the Phillies has seen Heel before. I'll take my shot with Harper with the Yankees in town.
Yeah, I love that bet, and I like Schwarbaum. He's been launching shots every night, and I think Turner's another guy that I would be involved with as well for the Phillies. I do not have much faith lately in Heel. I think he's kind of been a heel. He's been getting lit up. So, I don't think it's going to be easy for the Yankees against Wheeler, and I think more of the home runs are coming from that Phillies side like you do.
I do agree on that. All right, the Mariners head to Boston where they open up a series with the Sox. And one of my favorite targets on the lion's share is always Nick Pivetta, who's allowed 15 homers in 84 innings this year for the Red Sox. Cal Raleigh has been good to us. It's funny, Scotty. He was actually one of the guys who didn't homer for us Friday night. We had 4 homers. We had him in the card. He didn't, but he came through for me Saturday and Sunday. So he's been very hot. And he's 3 for 7 with 2 homers in his career off of Pivetta. Plus 333 for Cal Raleigh tonight at Fenway.
Yeah, I love that bet. And, I might even throw in a Haniger here based on the sandbox that they're playing in. So if Raleigh can hit one, why not Haniger?
I'll give you this number, too. Pharrell Arena, of course, just joined Seattle. He has seen Pivetta a lot. 2 homers in his career. 8 for 22 with 2 homers off of Pivetta. So maybe a Rosarena, somebody else to look for. He knows that park, knows that pitcher very well from his time in Tampa. Next, we'll go to Arizona late night. Nationals in town against the Diamondbacks. And I'm going back to one of my old friends, Christian Walker, tonight at plus 375. Why are we going to Christian, Scotty? Well, we have a lefty on the mound in our boy Mitchell Parker Lewis can't lose. And Walker eats lefties at home. And you have one in Parker Lewis, so let's go after it. Plus 375 with Walker.
I mean, this guy has rung the bell for us so many times, particularly at Dodger Stadium. But I like the call here against Parker in the desert. And, it's funny. They took 2 of 3 from the Pirates. They're playing great baseball, and it's been going on for about 3 weeks. So I've said time and time again before the break, watch out for this team in the second half. They're playing great baseball. That was a week before at least the All-Star break, and now they've carried it out of the break. I think they're going to be tough to beat the rest of the way. They look good.
Next, to Cincinnati, the Cubs and the Reds tonight. Now, there's several options that we have on the Reds side against Jameson Shots at Tyone. I actually don't mind some Cubbies either, Scotty, against this Carson Spires. But I'm going to go with Tyler Stevenson tonight. 4 for 4 in his career off of Tyone, including a home run. So he sees him very well. Plus 425 for Stevenson. Candelario's hit a homer off of him. TJ Friedel's hit a homer off him. Spencer Steers hit a homer off him. Reds have some very good numbers against Tyone.
Yeah, I love that bet at 425. It's a great number. On the other side, the same names start coming up. As far as I'm concerned, Happ, Horner. Yes. There's a lot of Cubs, too, that I'd be interested in getting a piece on.
Next, to Citi Field we go. Mets and the Twins. I'm going to go to Royce Lewis, who just came back off the IL. Now, Lewis has hit a lot of home runs this year in limited action. 11 home runs and only 98 at bats. He's just coming off. Let's get him hot. And this guy's been in the 3s for most of the year, Scotty. Getting him at 5-1 tonight against a lefty. He usually mashes lefties. In Jose Quintana, who's given up 18 home runs this year. I'll try Lewis at Citi Field at plus 500.
I love that bet. I'd be interested in a Carlos Santana. He can hit from either side, and he's a showman. So hitting one in New York would be something I could see happening.
And finally, we go to Houston, where, yes, Paul Skeens is on the mound tonight. We're going to get to him in a moment. But the Buccos come rolling in, lineup a little depleted. They're going to get Reynolds back tonight. By the way, I like Reynolds as well if he's in the lineup. But I'm going to go to the cruise missile. We just played you one. He hit one yesterday. He's been hot. And why are we doing this, Scotty? Who does O'Neal Cruz hit the most? These right-handers who can't get anybody out. And that is exactly what Jake Bloss the boss, has been for Houston this year. This guy's given up 5 homers in only 11 innings. He gets beat up by lefty power hitters, plus 4 bills for O'Neal Cruz tonight.
Love that bet. On the other side, Skeens gives up a home run here and there. He's been known to get that fastball turned on. I'd say Alvarez could hit one from the left side, obviously.
Yeah, I think from the Houston side, the only guy I'd play with fire with tonight is Alvarez against Skeens if we wanted to go there. And as far as Skeens goes, Scotty, of course we know the number for him. It is 7.5 is where the K number is. And so far this year, it is 10-2 to the over. 7.5, 90% of the bets at BetMGM are on Skeens to go over the 7.5 in Houston.
Well, I don't see why it's not going to happen tonight, too, with that lineup. They got like one guy hitting from the left side, so I think they're going to have trouble with him, and I'll go over again. 10-2, I'll go over again at plus 110.
Let's go. Skeens with the over. Of course, Cal Raleigh, Bryce Harper, Tyler Stevenson, Christian Walker, Royce Lewis, and O'Neal Cruz. Give us a cruise missile tonight out there in Houston. The Tater Time Lion Share brought to you by BetMGM, Scotty. For
so Friday night, you hit those 4. It had to be well over $1,200.
It was over that. I'll give you the.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
As of July 22nd, we start a new deal with a monster distribution platform called SportsGrid. And we'll be live every day on national radio on SiriusXM channel 159. And we will be live on their national television platform every day from 10 a.m. till noon.
Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
The staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
So the U.S. beat Japan by 26. They covered either the 21 and a hook or the 23 and a hook, and they get it done. I saw them go over to C-Note. I knew it was a done deal. 102-76 again, the final U.S. over Japan in women's basketball. And you had mentioned to me that the 3-on-3 starts tomorrow, and then your beach volleyball match is starting now. Is that on NBC or USA or anything that I could watch it while it's on?
It's live now. Cloth and Nuss should be on one of them. I had them on Peacock. I'm not sure what They are on, I'm sure they're on one of those channels, but they are up. They won the first set, and they're up in the second set. I just saw them live at like minus 3,500, so I think they're going to wrap things up against the girls from Australia, which is very good to see. The 3-on-3 tomorrow, and remember, Jimmer Fredette is on the men's 3-on-3 team, Scotty.
Right.
And they're playing Serbia, and they're minus $140 tomorrow. That's actually going to be on, according to my viewing calendar here, USA with the 3-on-3 while we're on coast to coast, 4:30 East in the afternoon for the men's 3-on-3 team. I actually liked it last time. The last time I think was the first time they did it. There's a bunch of games, bunch of matchups all day long. I got to see how the format rolls for that 3-on-3. But USA and Serbia, 4:30 East tomorrow afternoon with your boy Jimmer. You know who else I saw? Speaking of basketball players that made me think of Jimmer Fredette. Who's the guy, what's his name, that used to play at Arizona? Chase, is it Budinger? Remember him?
Yes. Yes.
He's on the beach volleyball USA men's team.
Really?
He's playing, yeah, he won his match. Him and his partner won their first match today. Chase Budinger is playing beach volleyball in the Olympics for the United States, which I thought was pretty cool.
Well,
So
I'm
he's in the
watching
mix
your
as
girls
well.
now play. I have to say, because
they're smashing them.
because I am a jerk. I think the Brazilian chicks are relatively hot in the beach volleyball. Like I've always been a fan of beach volleyball. I used to ride my beach cruiser down to the beach in Huntington Beach in the morning to read the USA Today and cause trouble down at the beach. And I was always watching the chicks play volleyball. They play down at the beach there in Huntington Beach. And I mean, let's just say it was G-string city. These chicks are tall cups of water. I'll tell you what.
I believe they're playing the Australians, I believe.
Australia. What did I say?
think
Brazil? What's the difference?
Brazilians, yes. They're playing
They're
the
in green.
Australians.
The Matildas.
There you go. We got the beach. I love the beach volleyball. I think it's outstanding.
It is.
And I think it's great. And I think this also has changed it for me this time. I feel like this is the first Olympics where they've really opened up the treasure chest in terms of being able to bet on this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I felt like even like in 21 in Tokyo was now that it's become, I mean, you're in the mix with everything here, which is outstanding. And like I've said to you with the golf, when did I start really liking the golf more? Because I was betting on it more.
You
I
can
was in
bet
the mix
on
with
it.
the golf. And I think it gains more interest to the Olympics that you can actually play this stuff. I think it makes
Did you
a
watch
huge
that
difference.
Cuban team smoked the Americans in beach volleyball. The men, the Cuban team killed them.
No, I did not see that one. So I
This
guess
guy
they
in
didn't.
Cuba, he had like 10 blocks at the
Oh,
net. He was
geez.
unbelievable. It was like watching Akeem Olajuwon or something. My man was blocking all their spikes, all their kills.
Let's finish up tonight. We'll keep you posted on Kloss and Nuff when they finish it off. Yankees and the Phillies in Philadelphia. We mentioned Zach Wheeler and Louis Heel tonight is the pitching matchup. Minus 145 for the Phillies, plus $120 for the Yankees, and a flat 9. That total's gone up.
I mean, it looks like just the most fantastic matchup when you see they're both 10-5, but we all know that Wheeler's better than Heel. And that's just all there is to it. And that team in that ballpark is tough to beat. I like them tonight over the Yankees, even though the Yankees look great on Sunday night and they're getting Stanton back and everything else. But I think the way the Phillies are hitting home runs and scoring and winning games, and they got their best pitcher on the mound, I would say Phillies the buy here. And I just want to see what it is in terms of the run line. You could get them at plus 143 on the run line even. I don't even mind 140. I don't like that juicy 140. I'd rather lay the 1.5.
The Guardians are in Detroit. As you mentioned, no Flaherty now. Tanner Beebe for Cleveland, and it'll be Bo Brisky going for the Tigers. Minus 160 for Cleveland, plus $135 for Detroit, and a 7.5.
Well, I mean, I had him at plus 102 with Flaherty. Now it's plus 135 at least with Brisket. And I don't think Beef and Brisket's going to beat them. I can't get out of it. I've already bet it. So I'm just going to ride it, the Tigers. But if I were betting right now after that deal that allegedly is going to happen with the Yankees and Tigers, I would say Bibby's the buy.
Sounds like it indeed. The Cubs and the Reds in Cincinnati. Jameson shots of Tyone against Carson Spires tonight. A pick of -110 both ways and a 9.5.
I think the fact that shots of Tyone is pitching gives the Cubs a chance. The problem is they don't score runs for me, and I think the Reds and Spires can beat them in the Queen City. It was a pick 'em this morning. I was going to bet it. I was going to bet Cincinnati.
Blue Jays just hit a 3-run homer, by the way. The kid that came into the game for Turner ended up hitting the 3-run homer. Got to be his first game or something because they're all going nuts. Or his first homer. 7-3 Orioles lead in the top of the 5th inning. Mets and the Twins at Citi Field. Jose Quintana against Woods Richardson tonight. -115 for the Mets. -105 for the Twins and an 8.5.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Both of these guys are tough. I like the under, and I like the Mets. I like Quintana, and I don't think it's going to be easy. I think the Twins are tough. As you know, I took them to win that division, and let's see if the Mets can beat them in Queens.
Real fast, we'll slide this into Gilbert Grape against Pivetta tonight. Fenway, -125 for the Sox, +105 for the Mariners, and an 8.5.
Yeah, I don't bet against Gilbert Grape, and they've been winning every night, Seattle. They just swept the White Sox. I'll take Seattle again.
That's a nice price for Gilbert Grape, and the Red Sox have been scuffling, Scotty. I'm with you. I'm going to take the Mariners there tonight. I'll give you the refs when you come back.
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City. What a night it is going to be. Historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the turn. Right hand from my boy, double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form. Bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
All right, let's hit the rest of these games tonight in baseball.
Yeah, let's go. Texas is at Busch tonight in St. Louis against the Cards. Nate Eovaldi and Andre Palante going tonight. -115 for Texas, -105 for the Redbirds, and an 8.5.
I got to be honest with you. I think the Cardinals win the game. I mean, Texas, I don't deny that Eovaldi's tough. I don't deny that, he's got a lower ERA, everything else, better numbers across the board. But the reality is that that team doesn't win enough for him. They don't win enough at all. And they're at Busch, and I don't think Palante's that bad with a 3.9 ERA. Give me the Cardinals at home. I got to be honest with you, because at that price, I see it at like even at minus $1.05. Maybe it's even lower than that.
The Braves and the Brewers in Milwaukee. Grant Holmes and Colin Rea tonight. Minus 125 for Milwaukee, plus 105 for Atlanta, and a flat 8.
I mean, on paper, the Brewers are automatic, right? Rea's at 9-3. He should win this game. I told you, though, betting against that Braves team at even money is dangerous way to make a living. I think the Braves can upset them tonight.
I think they can as well. The Royals and the White Sox are in Chicago, Scotty. Alec Marsh and Chris Flexen tonight. I will tell you, I like Taters in this game. I didn't really love the price. Most of these guys were like 200 tonight. They expect the balls to fly out with these two. But listen, Witt, Pasquantino, Salvi, Luis Robert. I think we're going to get some homers in the Royals and the White Sox. Royals are minus 175, White Sox plus $1.45, and a flat 9.
I bet it this morning on the run line. I got it at like minus $1.04 to lay the 1.5 with Kansas City. I took Marsh over Flexen. I'm not going to be surprised at all if it's 15 losses in a row for the White Sox, and I'm not going to be surprised if there's long balls. Flexen gets tattooed.
He gets tattooed. He stinks. Definitely. I mean, you could use some Kansas City guys in some parlay legs tonight. Tater parlay legs, however you want to do that. The Buccos are in Houston, as we mentioned during the Lion's Share. It will be Paul Skeens tonight going for the Buccos. Jake Bloss, the boss, not the boss with the way he's been pitching, is going for Houston. The Pirates minus 130 on the road. Astros plus 110 and a 7.5.
I'm worried about them scoring runs. I don't care if it's Bloss. I don't care who pitches. They don't score runs. So Skeens will go out and he'll lose, what did he lose the other day? 1-0? I mean, it's unbelievable that he'll strike out 8 guys and go to the 9th inning and go 8 1/3 and give up 4 hits and they lose. So to me, Houston at 110 is worth a shot, because look what they did in Arizona. They lost 2 of 3. They don't score runs. So Skeens pitches great, and then they sit there and strike out every at-bat they have. Yep. They got all these 210 and 205 hitters. They stink at scoring. And so, I mean, I want Skeens to win. I just feel like they won't.
Understandable. The offense really doesn't give you a lot of confidence, especially even against the guy who has not been good for the Astros. And finally, the Nats and the Diamondbacks in Arizona tonight. Mitchell Parker Lewis can't lose. For the Nats, Jordan Montgomery goes for the Snakes, who are minus 165, plus 140 for Washington, and a flat 9.
I like the run line with the Diamondbacks. I like Marte to hit a homer. I like the over. And I can get that run line at plus 122 or higher in a couple of houses. I like Arizona to roll at home.
There you go, Scotty. That's your night in baseball. Big slate tonight for a Monday night. 7-3 Orioles lead the Jays. Bottom of the 5th in Baltimore. Game 1 of that doubleheader going on right now. All right, we got a lot to do in the final hour. I know you're going to kick things off with Coach, so you guys will get into this. Obviously, the men U.S. team opened with the 110-84 win over Serbia yesterday. KD with 21, LeBron with 17. He almost had a triple-double. Everybody got upset because Tatum didn't play at all. They won the game.
Actually,
that's
KD
really
had 3 and LeBron had 21 in that game.
There you go. There you go. So you had that. And what do you have, 9 dimes or 9 boards or 9 and 8, whatever it was?
Yes.
LeBron was close to that
9 and 7, 21, 9 and 7.
So there you go. They're off and running. I thought that they would smash them, and sure enough, they did. Slow start, but they smashed them like they did in that exhibition game.
Listen, and they're not the only team in town. I mean, watching France with Wembanyama has been exciting. Canada and Shea Gilgeous has looked exciting. So we'll talk to Coach about that and the U.S. women blowout of Japan today coming up.